Let's do this.
It's time for Hangin' with Langin.
I like that she's got a big dirty mouth that gets her in trouble.
Wow.
Stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time.
Hey, you crazy kids. How are you today? How are you hanging with Langin? I missed you last week, but we're back this week. It's good to see some of you. I really can't see any of you, but I'm just saying that because I know you can see me. I have a great guest coming up in just a minute. She's a beauty queen. Like she's won titles and awards from New York. And she's here. Her name is Nicole Doz. And she's a New York City sanitation worker. She's now a supervisor. She's moving through the ranks very quickly. And as many of you know, I am the daughter of a New York City garbage man, I call him that because, and I'll tell you why, a retired New York City sanitation worker. And I call him that respectfully because some people be like, why do you say it that way? My father, Huey Langan from the South Bronx, he would say growing up, hey, you got the foreman. He thinks he's the fancy schmancy guy. He calls himself a sanitation worker. Hey, we're all garbage men. We're all picking up garbage. You ain't no better than anybody else. So when I wrote my one-person show, Daughter of a Garbage Man, I wrote it as an homage to the hardworking people that some people call garbage men, some call sanitation workers, some call environmental engineers. That's when my father started calling himself an environmental engineer. So, but what it was to take any stigma away from it and call it what you want to ever call it. But I honor the people who do the hard work every day, every single day. And God knows where you people would be without those hardworking sanitation workers. That is the truth. So I have a guest today, Nicole Doz. I'm going to bring her in now. Hello, Charlotte. Big shout out to you. And hey, Charlotte, share this, would you? If you guys are watching this, please share it. That's what I want you to do. It shows you care. It's only fair. And you all know if you're seeing this and you miss it, if you're seeing it, you didn't miss it, but you may be catching part of it or coming late. You can watch it or if you're listening to it on the .com, on the Spotify or Apple, you can go watch the entire video if you want to see what Nicole looks like because she's gorgeous. And then you might want to see me too. There are men in their 80s with large print Kindles who want me. So you can subscribe at Patreon.com, Patreon, and you just search Maureen Langan, and there we have it. So please share right now if you're watching, share. All right, without further ado, let me do this. She's a beauty queen, New York City sanitation worker, Miss Staten Island 2018, Miss Big Apple 2019, and Miss New York for America Strong 2021, which I want to find out what that's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nicole Doz.
Hi, how are you?
I love that you're all dolled up for us. I love it.
Thank you.
You are so hysterical. Well, congratulations on.
Thank you very much.
You were just awarded this. You just got this title.
Yes, this just happened actually the day after my birthday, so last month.
Well, let me ask you this. Miss New York for America Strong. What does this mean? What does this title mean? What is it? What does it stand for? I don't get it.
So this is obviously Miss New York, so I'm representing the state, and for Miss for America Strong is the system. So this is actually a subdivision of the Mrs. World program. So we have a Mrs. New York, and then you have Miss New York, which is the unmarried women like myself.
Oh, so you are Miss New York, but this America Strong, it's a subcategory of Miss America?
It's a subcategory of Miss World.
Oh, Miss World.
Yes.
Oh, fancy.
Mrs. World, to be exact.
Miss what world?
Mrs. World for married women.
Oh, Mrs. World, or is it Miss World too? Are there two worlds? Are we living in?
No, unfortunately, it's just Mrs. World.
But you can be in Mrs. World?
No, you have to be married, so that's why it's almost like a subdivision. My category is for unmarried women, but it's under the same umbrella.
Okay, and they just call it America Strong because we're Americans.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Okay. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. And I want to get into all of like how you become a beauty queen. Obviously, being beautiful helps. I've been asked many times, but I said no. So here's the deal. Don't laugh that hard. So the thing, I'm joking with you. The sanitation work, and you heard me set it up about my dad being a retired New York City sanitation worker. My respect is immense, absolutely immense. And I thank the fellas and now the lady, because there's not, how many women are on the sanitation department?
Uniformed women, there's about 200 or so women, and there's about 7,000 New York City sanitation workers. So not a lot.
Wow. What made you become a New York City? You're now a supervisor.
I am, yes.
And tell us what you do now.
So right now I actually work in headquarters, essentially, and I work in the community affairs department. And I do all of the fun stuff that you wouldn't necessarily assume the department does. So we do touch a truck events, career days, block parties. We set up volunteer cleanup events, community board meetings, all that good stuff.
And so, but that is a promotion for you. You didn't begin with that. You had to start, you had to tell me how it began. You had to take a test, correct?
Yes. So it is a civil servant test. Essentially, you take a written exam. Everybody just shows up. It's common knowledge. And then you wait. The city makes you wait a very long time to start the process of being hired. You take a physical exam, a medical exam, and then if all checks out, you're hired.
But what do you mean? Like, what is the test, the initial test, the written test? Is it like, do you know the 5 boroughs? Do you know how to recycle? Do you know what bin plastic goes in? What's the test?
No, it's more or less sort of job-related questions, but more on a common knowledge side. For example, they said if you're shoveling snow, where is one of the best places to put your shoveled snow? You don't want to throw it back in the street, so where do you put it? You don't want to cover hydrants. So it's kind of like basic knowledge, but job-related.
All right. But what precipitated this? What part of you said, oh, you had to do the physical test too? What did that encompass?
That is essentially almost like an obstacle course. So it's basically simulating garbage bags, simulating trash cans, and within a certain amount of time, you kind of have to just maneuver your way around this obstacle course and get it done. I think it was, I don't remember exactly how many minutes you have. I think it was anywhere between let's say 8 minutes. And you got to do it in enough time without crashing into cars or the little obstacles that they put up for you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. When my dad came up through the ranks, everything was lifted by hand and tossed in full body strength. Are there more like mechanical parts now to lifting the garbage or in the cans or the baskets or whatever you call them?
We do have what we call roll-on, roll-off machines, and we have easy pack machines, and those very specific types of equipment, they will manually pick up the garbage, but your regular everyday house-to-house collection is being lifted physically by men and women.
And that's part of what you did at times?
Yeah, I did it quite often. I also operated a mechanical sweeper. So not only was I picking up garbage, but I was driving around, sweeping the streets.
My dad loved the snow because he got like double time or something. And we're one of 6. So he was like, yay, Christmas money. But he called by the George Washington Bridge, where all the crazy roads come together, the Major Deegan, and you get off and on. He called that the pretzel. Do they still call it that? He always called it the pretzel.
I'm actually not sure. I've never had the pleasure of plowing over there. I worked in Brooklyn, so I'm very familiar with that area, but I'm sure they probably do.
The pretzel. Well, now you know. So so Nicole Doz, she is my guest. She is a beauty queen. She's not just dressing up like a nut job who decided, I'm going to just wear a sash and a crown. And we'll get more to that. She's Miss New York. She's cracking up. But you're like in your early 20s, and I read that you're 5'3".
Yeah.
So what do you do? Strength training? How did you lift all this stuff? Gifted. You're just gifted.
Willpower.
Well, so you have a father and an uncle on the sanitation department, right?
Yes, that is correct. They've both been on, I believe, my uncle about 10 years and my dad about 21 years now.
How long do they have to be in to retire now?
For my dad, it's 20 years. For someone like myself, it's 22 and a half.
It's a good job. Union, baby. Do you plan to stay with it?
Absolutely. I just became a supervisor. I'm very much looking forward to just seeing how far up the ranks I could go, because why not?
Well, there was a female commissioner who ran for mayor, Catherine Garcia.
Yes. I'm very familiar with Miss Garcia. I did a little bit of volunteer work with her mayoral campaign, so I'm very familiar with her. And she was an excellent example when I first got hired, because it was just really nice to see a woman essentially running a male-dominated department.
And she's done a lot. I did a lot of reading when I was voting for mayor, because she was assigned to other big assignments in the city when she moved on, or before she was the sanitation commissioner, and got a lot done just during the pandemic, switching the hours and how garbage was going to be picked up. People have no idea how absolutely essential that is. Some people do, but many don't. I voted for her. I thought she was very competent in what I've read. She came close. So I didn't vote for her just because my dad is a sanitation worker. I wouldn't have, she had to have the chops, and I was like, close to. But when I was growing up, and I put this in my show, Daughter of a Garbage Man, what really bothered me, I remember when I was a young girl and I was in class and some of the boys were slacking off. And I will never forget the teacher said, and really to this day, it makes me so angry. She said to them, boys, you better start studying. What do you want to grow up to be, garbage men? And I hated that was used as the underachiever, as less than, because you would never say, do you want to grow up to be a cop? Or do you want to grow up to be a fireman? And they are all wonderful civil service jobs. And my father signed up for all three. The cops called him first. He didn't have 20/20 in one eye, even though he was 205 pounds and 6'1". So things were different then. But have you ever had to deal with those kind of negative connotations or negative things that people say?
Not necessarily as far as the job itself. When I tell people that I work for the sanitation department, after the initial shock of not believing me, they usually tell me that it's a wonderful job and that, I'm so lucky to get it. So no, not necessarily with the job. More likely do I get a lot of very sexist or very demeaning comments, because people just don't assume that I can do the work that I'm doing.
Right.
But you just deal, you make it work, and you show them better.
But see, and I think, you are unique, and I think it's given you a ton of publicity. I mean, it's been my sister sent it to me. My youngest sister is a teacher in New Jersey, sent it to me. She's, Maureen, I think you're going to like her. So I kept reaching out, and we finally connected.
Yes.
But I'm talking about back in the day too, how people, you're young, you're vibrant, you're pretty, you're accomplished. And you are accomplished, not just with Miss America, but what you did whatever any guy had to do to pass those tests and work for the sanitation department. I just didn't like how people didn't give it the same respect when that teacher that other jobs had. That's what upset me. And I was like, I was a little girl. I'm like, why are they using my father as the example of the loser? Why are they doing that? I hate that. And I would just be, then you don't want to tell anybody, because if the teacher said that's a bad job, right? So and I was 8 years old, and it always stayed with me. Yeah, it's very interesting how that happens. So your plan is to stay? You're in for a penny, in for a pound?
Oh yeah, this is my career. I'm very, very invested. I enjoy what I do, and I'm very proud of my work. So there's no way you're getting rid of me.
Well, good. And it's also too, in a time when some states are calling them right to work states, which just basically means no unions. That's what it means. I think how lucky we were to grow up in a working class family where my father had a union job working for the city. And he said he was making more money as a long haul truck, or just a truck driver before the sanitation department, not just a truck driver, I meant not long haul, a truck driver locally. And he said he was making more money, but he had children and more children. And he said they called him up and he said, I have to do this for my family. And then I was the first to go to college, and the rest followed suit. So it really is the working class dream and mentality. All right, I'm going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back to find out how you won Miss New York. What do you have to do to win Miss New York? I could have won Miss New Jersey. I believe that, my whole heart and soul. All right, we're going to be back in just a moment with Nicole Doz, and you can follow her at NY Beauty Clean, and we'll discuss that. What does that all mean? What is she into? She's into cleaning things up, but I think it's even on a bigger scale with the whole Miss America, Mrs. America, America Strong, whatever she was talking about before. I tried to follow it. It was a riddle, but I know she's doing very well. That's what I know. All right, you guys, a couple of announcements. If you're watching this today, Tuesday, August 17th. I will be at Gotham Comedy Club tomorrow night, the 18th, 8 p.m., Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. And Saturday, I'm in Richboro, Pennsylvania at Giuseppe's. Why wouldn't I go to Giuseppe's? It may be sold out, but call if you're in that hood because they may be able to squeeze you in. California, I'm coming for you on August 28th in San Rafael. Wednesday's Gift, a wonderful organization that helps people in the community. You need a ride somewhere. These are all sober people who've done a lot to help other people. So I'm excited about that. And then Bellingham, Washington, September 18th. Way excited about that. Never been there. It looks beautiful. So I'm going to be doing that. And also, I'm looking for a podcast intern. I need a podcast intern. I need you to help me with all this technology. I need social media help. I've been doing this all on my own. I am a one-man band. Look at me. I'm exhausted. So anyway, reach out to me at maureenlangan.com if you're interested, and we'll sort something out. A paid intern. I'm not cheap. And I'm also not rich, so manage your expectations. Also, T-shirts. You want to get a Don't Make Me Hate You T-shirt, head over to maureenlangan.com. Check out my new website anyway. It's looking really good, you guys. Don't Make Me Hate You. You see it right behind me over my shoulder. I don't want to hate people. They make me hate them. Speaking of which, my Don't Make Me Hate You comedy special on Dry Bar will be coming out hopefully next month. We'll keep you posted on that. Sign up at maureenlangan.com to stay connected. I don't spam you. I send out an email about once a week about who's going to be on the podcast and what shows I'm doing. And if you want to support the show, this is all listener supported. You guys support it. You keep the show coming. I really appreciate that because this is the whole new world. This is the whole new world. We work from home. We do our thing. So I'm on Venmo and PayPal. Let me find that for you. Venmo at Mo Langan. Here we go. So I'm at Venmo at Mo Langan, PayPal at Mo Langan, MOLANGAN. And really the best way to support, if you can, is a monthly subscription on Patreon. Patreon is Patreon, Patreon, and then search for Maureen Langan. You can start at the $5 level with Carol Burnett. You get access to all our video chats, so you'll get to see like what Nicole Doz looks like, our interaction, the video. We go up to the Joan Rivers level, which is 1,000. At that level, you'll be an executive producer. Also, at different levels, comedy shows, wine nights. We do a lot of fun stuff, and we'll work with you to see what you might like. Don't Make Me Hate You T-shirt. So that's what we do, but you have access at every level to all of the video. So I hope you'll consider supporting because you make the magic happen. Woo, woo. I need like my sounds and whistles. I don't have them with me here. All right, so let's get back to Nicole Doz. Beauty, she's Beauty Queen. New York City Sanitation worker. She's now a supervisor working in community outreach, which is way cool. And Miss New York 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Did you like my commercial break? Isn't that funny?
I did like that.
Insane. All right, let's get to the beauty pageant part. We talked sanitation part. When did you start being a pageant person?
So I was not a child beauty pageant competitor. I actually started when I was about 18. I competed for Miss Staten Island for a few years, and for whatever reason, I just could not win. I don't know what I was doing. I just didn't think I knew how to win a pageant. And then about 6 years in, I was like, all right, let's do another one. And I finally won Miss Staten Island. And from there, I loved them. You know, I just kept doing it. And now I'm Miss New York for America Strong. And I'm very, very excited about it.
Okay, first of all, you must have a lot of confidence because I grew up in an Irish family. And my mother always said, don't make a show of yourself. And I make a show of myself. This is a show, and it's myself. But Irish are like, I would never have had the confidence. So were you raised with that? Get out there. Who's better than you?
Yes and no. My mother always pushed me, and said, you can do such incredible things. But I was actually very shy growing up. I wanted to do things on stage, and I was excited about it, but I just wasn't confident enough to do it. And then eventually, I think through doing the pageants over and over again, I kind of built up my confidence to the point where now I can just go out on a stage, I can talk to a group of people, and it just does not bother me or make me nervous in the slightest.
Well, look, I have a picture of her up there as Miss New York. Stunning, gorgeous, gorgeous. Is that the crown? Is that your crown that they gave you?
Yes, it is. It's the crown I won on stage.
Yeah, I don't want you pulling out an old crown. We want the new crown. This is the one we want. You have your sash. Does it say
Yes.
Miss New York or Miss New York America Strong?
It says the whole thing. So I've got Miss New York at the bottom. I got For America Strong.
That's great. I love it. What do you have to do? What do you do? What's the process? Sit me down. You have to enter. Can anybody enter? What happens? I fill out a form. I'm in. Is there an age limit? What happens?
So for Miss New York America Strong, you have to be unmarried, but otherwise any age, any type of person can enter. You just have to be able to participate in an interview. So you're going to go into an interview room with the judges and, talk a little bit about yourself with them. You have to be able to walk on stage in an evening gown and a swimsuit. And then we have an on-stage question.
What do they ask you? And they just ask you to tell them about yourself in the interview process?
So you actually submit a formal resume beforehand that the judges review, and then they can ask you questions based off of that, or they could just throw you a wild card.
Oh, I love that. I could do that. Let's talk about the swimsuit. People say sexist. Some people don't look good. You have to look good in the swimsuit. Apparently you do. There you are. There's Nicole Doz in her swimsuit. It's orange. She has no body fat, and she's in high heels. So fellas, check that out. Okay, I'm just asking, what is the point of the swimsuit?
Mostly it's for confidence and just to be able to show that you can maintain a healthy lifestyle. It's not about being pencil thin. It's not about being, ripped muscles all over your body, because I don't have that. But I like to just maintain healthy living. I like to go running. I like to just eat healthy. I try not to overindulge constantly. And I think that's really what the swimsuit portion is trying to highlight. It's about just being healthy in the skin that you're in.
Okay, I'm going to show again. This is a woman who says she isn't ripped. You look very healthy, but you look very lean and very lovely and very gorgeous.
Thank you.
I heard in one of your pageants, because there had been when you sang opera.
I'm sorry?
Did you sing opera? I read that you sang opera in one of your pageants.
Yes, when I won Miss Staten Island, I actually sang opera a few times. And then when I had won Miss Staten Island and Miss Big Apple, I actually sang opera. So I sang the song I Feel Pretty from West Side Story. Oh, and I sang it in uniform.
In your sanitation uniform?
Yes.
I didn't share with you my sanitation joke. I do this, I judge people because it gives me hours of pleasure. It's a joke. But people say you should never judge another person until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And I said, I'm the daughter of a New York City sanitation worker. I have walked in other people's shoes. You don't get it? Because he picks things up.
I get it.
All right. You didn't like my joke. Well, Liberty Smith says, good day, Mo and Nicole. Just popped in. Liberty, share this. And people say, fun. If you're watching this on the group page, put your name there, because I can't see your name. You have to go to StreamYard.com, and it'll say Facebook right there, and you just hit the blue button. So we love having you. My father used to bring so much stuff home, and he was very into copper, like big spools of copper. I'm like, what are we doing with that? It could come in handy one day. What are you going to make a bust of Christopher Columbus? No, what are you doing? All right. So what was I saw something that you were Project Runway. What was with Project Runway in you?
So that was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever got the chance to do. The Project Runway producers were looking for 6 women from different agencies in New York to send one representative to be on the show and have a dream dress made for a very special Women Who Run NYC episode. So I submitted almost like a casting tape, and I got chosen to represent sanitation, and I had not only a beautiful custom-made dress, but my designer actually ended up winning the entire season, which was so fun for me to cheer him on throughout the process.
When was this?
That was about 2 years ago now, so that was 2019, and it was just such an incredible experience. I actually ended up wearing the gown to my engagement party once I got engaged.
Oh my God, I want to see a picture of that. Could you send me a picture of that if you have one?
Absolutely.
So you were on, so they wanted to have people who work in New York City. What were they specifically looking for? Women who worked in what capacity?
Basically just women who ran New York City. So we had a police officer, a postal worker, EMS, a woman who worked on the ferry, a school teacher.
What a great like season. Was it just a show or a whole season?
It was one episode on the whole season.
Okay, so your fellow or gal won? Your designer won?
Yes, he did. He won the whole show, which was I didn't know. We actually weren't told who even won the challenge in that sense that we were on. We actually had to wait and watch the season like everyone else. So not only did he win the episode with my dress, but he ended up winning the whole season, which I just loved.
What's his name?
His name is Sebastian.
All right, I'm going to check that out. Wonderful, wonderful. What's your platform? What is the platform? Is it a Miss America platform? Is it a sanitation worker platform? Tell me what you have. Everybody have a platform, like Be Best, even though nobody knows what that really was. What is your platform?
So essentially, when you do a lot of these pageants, they want you essentially to have a platform, something that you're passionate about, that you work towards, something community oriented. I made mine something that I was already passionate about, and that it worked very well with my job at the Department of Sanitation. It's called What Are You Waiting For? Fun play on words, but it's essentially just about keeping your environment, our beaches, our waterways, just keeping them healthy and clean.
I'm going to write that. It's what water you
waiting for.
Here we go, folks. Check this out. Let me see if I can put that up there. Here we go. What are you waiting for? Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Hysterical. Is that hashtag? Can people find that? Like they just hashtag it on Instagram, or what do they do?
Yeah, you can hashtag that. I use that. I also do my little hashtag Waste Reduction Wednesdays. That's something I do on my own Instagram just to promote eco-friendly living and just little eco-friendly tidbits that I use every day.
So that's what it's about, environment, about clean environment, water, health. And that's what you're doing too. You're keeping the environment clean. What do you want to say to somebody who might want to work for the sanitation department, a man or woman? What would you say the biggest thing that they have to do or possess within themselves?
You have to have the willpower to kind of deal, not only, of course, is it an extremely physical and labor-intensive job, but it's difficult in the sense that we don't actually have schedules. So when you first become a sanitation worker, you're essentially at the will of the department. Wherever they want you to work, you're working. So as long as you're available and if you can get to work, that is the hardest part of your day.
Listen, it's been such a pleasure to hang with you. I really appreciate you coming on. I think you're engaged.
Yes.
Congratulations. So you can also enter Mrs. America soon.
Eventually, yes.
I wish you much continued success. I think you are a gem.
Thank you so much.
Nicole Doz, follow her at NY Beauty Clean on Instagram. We'll talk to you soon, Nicole. All the best. Send me that picture of the gown that you wore on Project Runway. So exciting. So you guys, I mean, how cool was that? She has done so much. Beauty Queen, sanitation. Look at that. How cute is she in that sanitation outfit? Can you take it? Gown, swimsuit, all of it. It's happening for her. So what I wanted to say to you, I really appreciate all of you. Liberty, yes, I'm sure she has to deal with some unique smells, but we all do living in New York in the summer months particular. It's just the way it is. So as I wrap this up, I thank all of you. Please follow, please support the show if you can. Patreon.com is the absolute best way to support it. It's a monthly subscription. I'll show you. Let me get you my banner here. I don't know what I do with it. But anyway, it's Patreon, Patreon.com/Maureen Langan. If you want to make a donation to PayPal or Venmo at Mo Langan, that's how we keep the show coming, you guys. And if you're looking for a corporate host, MC, speaker, moderator, or stand-up comic, reach out to me at Maureen Langan. I added a new one for you guys. It's Maureen at Maureen Langan. That's my professional. I'm very professional. And just reach out to me. Always want to, and if you have a question, a suggestion for a great guest, email me at Maureen Langan, and we'll see what we can do. Always want to know cool people, interesting people, and always want to hear from you. Go to my new website, maureenlangan.com, fully updated, and just connect. Add your email, your name, and we're best friends for life. All right, you know the routine. Until we meet again, bye, wig. Mwah.